former top boss at the BBC, Richard Eyre, has said the corporation could have to dismiss Gary Lineker following his tweets about the government's small boats policy.
So the presenter described the government's bill as cruel and compared the language used by the government to that of Germany in the 1930s.
It raises the question, should celebrities steer clear of migrant issues altogether, political issues that are tied up within that, or are they entitled to speak up? Well, we're joined now by political commentator Dominique Taegon, who thinks celebrities should keep their political opinions to themselves, and broadcaster and writer Terry Christian, who says that's a ridiculous thing to ask. So, Terry, what was your reaction when you saw what Gary Lineker had done?
I thought it was quite harmless. I thought if you actually look at what the Germans were saying in the 1930s, he was absolutely right. I think what everybody did then was they then paraphrased what he was saying to make it worse. But Gary Lineker's, I'm a great believer in free speech, full stop. And I think if the BBC do anything, they should double down and let Nadine Dorries present Match of the Day. And, of course, only if they pixelate out all the foreign players.
There's an interesting idea. I mean, Dominique, the point that Terry is making, and I think Gary is making, and lots of people have made, is that free speech, people should be allowed to share their opinions. Gary's a sports broadcaster. He's not a news broadcaster. There's stricter rules for news broadcasters in terms of impartiality.
Yeah, I mean, even with the question, I think we're asking the wrong question, to be honest. I think the real question is, why do public figures like Gary Lineker and others who are very, very privileged, often insulated by the issues that they actually talk about, why do they feel the need to lecture the public and even compare us to Nazis for daring to have concerns or even support legislation that seeks to stop the influx of illegal migration?
Well, he's answered that. He says he's not lecturing the public. He's talking about the government, and he is speaking because of those people that don't have the privilege, this is his words, don't have a voice.
Well, my answer to that would be this is an elected government. It's a democratic elected government. It was elected on its manifesto pledge, which always seeks to reduce immigration. The public in general wants to reduce immigration. And to compare that to Nazi Germany...
Well, he didn't know, did he?
No, he did. To say 1930s, we all know what was happening there, and we all know what it led to. It led to the deaths of millions of people.
So the language
to actually make light of that and to compare it to wanting to
demonising...
stop illegal migration, I think is disgusting. But also secondary... In terms of political issues in general, it always comes from one side with these people. It's always, you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a transphobe. But when it comes to people like J.K. Rowling or even Amanda Abbington, who spoke out about the story I broke about drag shows for babies, they're called transphobes and bigots. So my problem isn't that...
We've moved away from what the question is, though,
No, it's not. It's not that celebrities aren't allowed to have opinions. It's that it's always coming from one side. Or if celebrities do have an opinion...
Can I speak now?
...that's not right,
the issue is about free speech, and I'm all for free speech, so I don't even mind bigots with their bigoted opinions, no matter how ignorant. What I do is I want to hear what people have to say, and then I can understand. It's not like Gary... Hang on.
There's a difference.
It's not like Gary Lineker's going on Match of the Day and saying, and now before the clash of Arsenal versus Man City at the top of the table, can I just say that I totally disagree with the government's policy on X, Y, and Z?
I think that's disingenuous, though.
No, it's not.
Because
the thing is,
he's paid by the BBC.
He's a footballer. He's got a viewpoint.
He's employed by
now nobody works in a more multicultural environment than footballers. So he's got a great understanding of the issues. This idea...
What do footballers have to do with illegal migration?
Hang on, we're talking about free speech. So are you saying that he shouldn't have free speech, but you should?
That's
not
what I said.
Are you saying that he shouldn't have free speech, but Jeremy Clarkson should?
That's actually factually not what I've said.
I'm just asking you.
I've said
so we agree in free speech. We both agree on that, don't we?
Yeah, but there's a difference.
Hang on.
Can I just finish?
No, please. Can I just ask you a question?
And then you come back
yeah.
Dominic.
So we both agree on free speech. So who should decide on who has free speech then? You?
No, because that's not what I've said.
So what I say is... what I'm saying is I want everyone to have free speech.
Yeah, but you're being disingenuous.
Then I want to see... Then I want to see what they are saying, and then I can judge by what they say.
Terry, let Dominique...
I would like to respond now. At no point have I said that nobody's allowed free speech except me. I'm saying that A, there's hypocrisy, and B, you're being disingenuous there with regards to Gary Lineker.
What's the hypocrisy?
Because he is employed by the BBC. People have been threatened with prison for not paying the BBC licence. It's supposed to be impartial. That's why there's uproar, and that's why in private he's had a speaking to, because it's inappropriate.
He's not an employee, though, is he?
And to appropriate...
He's freelance.
But to be fair,
but he's still got a contract with the BBC, and to many, he represents the BBC, and the BBC is supposed to be impartial.
But why are you trying to shut him up?
Okay.
And to appropriate, I'm sorry, I really need to focus on this because I feel like it's being glossed over here, to compare legislation that seeks to stop illegal migration to people being gassed in chambers, because that's what 1930s Germany led to. So we need to be really careful about language.
Let's make 2 points. OK. So first of all, what Gary Lineker is arguing is that the language that led to the atrocity of the Holocaust...
It's not the same, is it?
He is making that comparison, and in fact, he's reflecting a comparison put directly to the Home Secretary by a Holocaust survivor. So,
a number of people that are Jewish are in the cabinet, and Suella Braverman is married to a Jew, so I think that's really, really insulting.
I'm sure it is.
And we're taught in 1930s Germany, people don't seem to understand history here, that came with laws that discriminated against who Jewish people could marry, where they could live,
laws about
what they could buy, what businesses they could own. It's disgusting.
Can I just say one thing before we go on to something else? But people have got very exercised about this at home. A lot of people saying exactly what you're saying, that in a way it's the issue that's all. A lot of people saying what Terry's saying as well, whereas it's all about free speech. But others saying it is the subject matter, because Marcus Rashford, where would we be if he hadn't spoken out about a subject that in many ways people see as much less controversial? So in a way, it's the issue for you, isn't it, as opposed to celebrities in general?
Yeah, I think it's the issue and the way it's been framed.
See,
Marcus Rashford, some people have said he should stick to kicking a football around. Personally, I think the issue that he was trying to highlight was not very controversial. But I think when it comes to speaking about a policy like this and then invoking themes of 1930s Germany,
it's the language he's talking about, not the policy. The policy's not going to work anyway. We should be talking about the actual policy. This idea that everyone is coming over
What's the language, though?
Everybody coming over on dinghies is a criminal and a potential this and a potential that. It's all nonsense. It won't work. It all goes down to Brexit. But the reality is, when I'm all for freedom of speech, so I don't care if someone's bigoted, talks nonsense, talks anti-vax nonsense,
whatever your view of nonsense is.
See, this is what I mean. Like, it always
retweet people like, cranks like Andrew Bridgen, who said that everyone in the UK is entitled to an Irish passport. I don't care about
what they're saying. You want them to have the right...
Yes, and then I can judge them. It's a bit like David Icke. Once I know that he thinks that the world is run by humans that are really lizards, then I can think, so what he's saying about vaccination, I'm not going to take that
But you said that what Gary Lineker said was mild, so you're biased then.
Well, no, I just think that he's a sports presenter. If he's doing Match of the Day,
it's been lovely having you two celebrities talk this morning.
I'd like to talk more about the NHS, the rest of the Britain crumbling.
And we can do
not
that
people
when we
on dinghies.
Compare people to Nazis.
People on dinghies. Well, there's other comparisons.
That's an interesting idea about Nadine Dorries doing Match of the Day as well. That's going to linger.
Somebody somewhere is running that.
Pixelate out the foreign players so she
doesn't get Terry.
Thank you for coming in, both of you. Thank you for all your messages as well. But on both sides of the debate, as Kate says, very much agreeing with Dominique, but equally with you, Terry, that everybody should be around.
Stop the knuckle draggers
Stop it now. Stop it now.
You mean for
me? Thank you.